you want to just introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Will Curtin. I'm one of the partners here at Churchfields Farm, Churchfields Saltworks. Droitwich has been famous for many centuries for its salt. We're not a sea salt, we are a spring salt. So there's a seabed under the ground which millions of years ago in the Jurassic era got covered up. It gets washed over by spring water and it creates this brine. Bronze Age man found it, the Romans invaded and occupied Droitwich for the salt. That's where we get the word salary from. They used to pay their men in salt. It was mentioned in the Domesday Book, and in medieval times in 1215 King John awarded Droitwich a royal charter because of the importance of its salt. So this is a bottle of the brine that we've recently collected. You know, people say to me, what colour is the brine? Is it brown? Is it blue? It looks like water. The only difference would be when you taste it. You know, that there's a lot of salt in that. But the purity of that brine, you know, the fact that it's been locked underground, it hasn't seen the light of day for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. It hasn't been exposed to anything that's in the atmosphere today, makes it a very unique product.
So we've left a couple different pans in a couple different states so you can see how the transition happens. This one just has brine water, so this was topped up a little bit earlier today. It just looks like a normal pit of water, to be honest, but it's actually 27% salt in here. So this is about 200 litres that we have on the pan at the moment. So we tend to find if the sunlight's coming down and it's heating the brine very quickly, we get the flakes forming on the top that then slowly sink to the bottom. And they're very delicate. I can almost, even trying to grab one here, they're just breaking apart. Whereas the big squares here, this is more of our grinding salts. And you get lots of these bits which just kind of break apart into these little squares. Right, so this one's been sitting for about 2.5 days since it was last scraped. And it does form a bit of a sheet, so you just have to give it a little bit of a gentle tease. You can see all the flaky bits at the top, and then you have the bigger chunks at the bottom. So we just scrape this up by hand, kind of every 2 or 3 days, depending on the weather. So then it'll sit there for about 24 hours or so, just getting the majority of the moisture out. And then we'll pop it across into our drying polytunnel just to finish off the process. So once our salt is dried for about a day or so on the pans and the sieves, we bring it through to here, and then we just put it in these trays and just let it kind of naturally dry off a bit. The fan you can see behind you there, so that's powered, the hot air is coming from the wood chip powered biomass boiler, so that's all renewable. And then we just have a dehumidifier as well, which helps to take the worst of the moisture out of the air. So each one of these will be holding about 20 kilograms or so of salt. So we have 80, 100, about 160 kilograms of salt drying at the moment. So if you think there's only about 100 grams in a packet, then that would make 1,600 packets of salt just from this sitting in the room at the moment. So it's quite a scale. It doesn't look like it's huge, but in the grand scheme of things to a local dairy farm, it's quite big.
I think it's important for consumers to see where are we getting our food from, and I think that makes, you know, adds to the provenance, adds to the uniqueness, you know, for consumers, for the market to see where we're coming from. You know, we're not a big factory in the middle of a city making salt. We are a working dairy farm that produces milk, makes a bit of ice cream, and also crystallises and hands harvests a unique spring salt. I mean, to me, it doesn't get much better than that.